My name is Ali Junejo, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of TechSense. TechSense started off in February 2007, and we are partners with Microsoft, IBM, Oracle. Essentially, we're an IT services organization. We're into selling services in ERP, on software development, IT services management, and project and portfolio management. We also have a subsidiary company in UK called TechSenseuk Ltd, and that company is only doing web development and also software development as of late. And that's basically it. Apart from the fact that I, as an individual, have been working in the IT industry in sales for more than 10-11 years. Well, market has actually, it's been very, very interesting. About 10 years ago, there was a boom only in the internet space, when brand new internet service providers were coming in and shutting down. And people were learning from their own experiences. They were creating their own enemies. But then there came a time when governments changed, and telecom industry came into a boom. Internet became less expensive and more competitive. So when there was more access on internet, there was more access towards more systems. That's when the demand of having new systems came in. That's when people realized, okay, we need to automate ourselves and be at par with the rest of the world, or the new world. And so they started investing in IT. And invariably, whenever you, as a businessman, when you think of investing in IT, the first thing that you do is obviously buy computers and printers, and internet. Once you've done that, that's when you think, okay, now I need to monitor my transactions, my transactional data. Where is my produce going? What are my sales? What can I do to enhance my sales and things like that? And that is when big IT companies started coming in with their business intelligence systems and ERPs and the works, basically. So 5-6 years from today, it was a very interesting time. I learned a lot of other people learned on the job, and a lot of entrepreneurs, businessmen learned about IT systems and what they are and how to go about it. And I think it's a global, I would call it a phenomena that after every 5 years, IT industry just changes, or any industry changes. You have your highs and you have your lows. Now we are actually not just IT industry, but overall globally we are experiencing lows. And it is up to us to realize who to go after as a customer, and what to sell, because it's all about survival these days. If you have something to sell that can make the other person survive, you can still survive these lows. This is my own personal opinion. 4 or 5 years ago, there were two industries which were at a boom. One